Welcome in, gang. Coach is pumped to have you. Coach feeling real good about the Thursday night football results, so he wants to make a bunch of picks this week. So the reason he felt good about the Giants beating the Eagles, not the coach made a video about it. He just had a gut feeling as an Eagles fan. Coach was thinking, man, they just lost. The Giants, tough rivalry game. They're on the road, and 4 days rest was the real kicker. I was like, the Eagles never, ever do good off a short rest, like any type of Tuesday or Thursday game, or and like they always play extra good off a bye week. Like I remember, like Andy Reid won like 20 straight games off a bye week or something insane. Not that's the real number, right? Coach's exaggerating, but it was a ton, right? Whereas anytime seemingly they got to play on short rest, they're just straight trash, right? So I was worried about them laying a dud. I honestly thought they would score 17 points. The part I didn't see coming was the Giants scoring 34. I thought it was going to be a 20-17 game, and I thought it could go either way, right? But I figured it would be ugly. I knew it was all going to come down to Saquon because they were going to abandon the passing game after finally throwing for 40 times for the first time in years and losing and only scoring 17 points that way too. They looked pretty good at first. Saquon rattled off like a couple 15-yard runs back to back. I'm like, what the hell? How'd you not see that coming? Right? I would have had the box stacked. Right, but then they held him to a field goal, and I was like, ooh, that's probably not too good for the Eagles. Right, I was like, I'm going to keep that in mind for later if they end up losing. Like, I would have liked to have seen a touchdown there. Tell me that the run game's clicking again. And sure enough, I saw Cam Scatterbo was starting as the number one, which I expected from him at some point. First of all, anybody that doubted Cam Scatterbo was going to be a big player in this league is just a goober. I mean, if you saw literally even like one play of him in college, he was just like a transcendent type player. Only reason he's not on our fantasy team is because coach couldn't think of like a conspiracy reason to have him. All the other guys we have, they have serious ties to someone we really like involved in the championship. Scatterbo was just kind of doing his own thing on the Giants, right? Didn't make a lot of sense, but we would have definitely played him if we were just playing for points, right? And coach told you to draft him is the point. But coach believed in the Giants so much he actually ended up starting their tight end, and he didn't do so great. So we should have stuck with Kelsey, but we're going to move on to the rest of our picks. Broncos at Jets. Coach's going to hit you right out the gate. We're going Jets. Jets getting their first win of the season against the 3-2 Broncos. Even though coach has the Broncos winning the AFC, here's coach's reasoning here. They got to go to the East Coast at 9:30 in the morning. That's going to feel like 6:30. 6:30 a.m. and you're jet lagged. I just don't see it for the Bronx. That's horrible. Who the fuck made that schedule? Wait, are they somewhere weird? Is this like a fake? This probably actually isn't in New Jersey. I didn't think about that. What the hell is the London? Well, shit. Well, what's London time? Is that even further ahead? Now I'm all confused. Fuck. Let's see. Eastern Standard Time to London time. They're 5 hours ahead. So it's gonna feel like 1:30 in the morning for the Broncos and 4:30 in the morning for the Jets. If I absolutely had to get up for work at 4:30 or whatever, I could do it, right? But 1:30 is like the worst. It's like, do you stay up late? Do you wake up early? You know what I mean? You got the flight. Obviously, they're going to be there a couple days in advance, all that sort of stuff. But coach says that gives them an excuse. It's tough. The coach didn't think through the London thing too much, so I'm a little bit shakier on that. But coach feels pretty, why not just take the 0-5 Jets, right? If it was in New Jersey, I'd say 100%. That's who I'm taking. Being in London, it's a little bit squirrelier, but coach thinks it's a good reason for people to bitch about the games being in London, like, oh, the Broncos would have smoked them, whatever, right? But anyways, so right there, we're going Jets, Jaguars, Seahawks. This one's tough, but since coach thinks... Oh, wait, shit, I got confused. I actually don't think I'm calling this one. Coach doesn't like this game. We're going to avoid. Chargers, Dolphins, Chargers. Rams, Ravens. Shit. I'm going to begrudgingly take the Ravens because they're at home and they really fucking need it. Same reason I'm actually going to take the Chiefs to beat my Lions. But the Lions are banged up. I'm not going to take both. I feel like you got to stagger that. So I'm going Rams. I'm going to go with the Rams to beat the Ravens. Okay, then we'll take the Colts. We'll take the Cowboys. We'll take the Patriots. We'll take the Steelers. Battle of the 1 and 4s. Oh, let's go with the Titans. We'll take Cam Ward over Gino. That's fine. Buccaneers and Niners. I don't remember seeing this one on here. I definitely didn't look at their records. Both 4-1. Damn. I'm just going to go with the Buccaneers. They're better. That's fair. Right? It's a tough call. But why not? And then I fucking hate that Joe Flacco's on the Bengals for this one. Like, they couldn't have waited 1 week to trade his ass. They got to make this so tough on Coach. Coach thinks if Joe Flacco was really going to be the first player to beat a team twice in a season, we wouldn't have all heard about it so far in advance. Wouldn't they have at least, like, saved that for the game? Like, I feel like when they push stuff out that early, it's the fake out. So Coach is calling fake out there. We had the Packers winning out, right? If the Bengals do beat the Packers, we'll have to completely reassess, and we'll just, we're obviously going to be completely off them. We won't know what their fucking deal is, right? But Coach says this is the worst game of the rest of the year for the Packers. So if they can survive this, the win out is definitely still on. But yeah, Coach's going to stick with the Packers. He's not scared of Joe. Fuck Joe. No, but Joe's going to play well. And then Lions, Chiefs. God, I love the idea of Flacco fucking winning and just immediately making Stefanski look like a goober, though. But I feel like that can happen next week. I don't know. Coach is going to take back the Bengals, Packers, and he's just saying no pick. Avoid. Right? So, and then Lions, Chiefs. Coach is going to go Chiefs. The Lions are banged up. Enough said. That's an excuse. Bills, Falcons. Coach is going to go with the Falcons on this one. Only because the Eagles lost back-to-back and stayed undefeated as long as the Bills. Coach is mad the Bills made him look stupid for picking him to win last week. So let's take him to lose this week. And then Bears, Commanders. Let's just go with the Commanders. All right, so to recap. Jets, Chargers, Rams, Colts, Cowboys, Patriots, Steelers, Titans, Bucks. No pick. Chiefs, Falcons, and Commanders. All right, so Coach picking a bunch this week. Let's see how we do. Coach, appreciate